Good Monday morning, Old Mill Elementary School families. It is July the 27th, and today I just wanted to touch base with you on a couple of questions that I know Miss Becky, Miss Renee, and myself have been answering, and hopefully just get that same information out to all of our families. I know today is the deadline to kind of let the board and myself know which option that you're choosing for your family this year, whether that be in person or our Bullet Cloud Academy. I'm very proud to say that either option that your family chooses, you will be receiving a quality Bullitt County education. And so, either way, you're going to be in wonderful hands with wonderful teachers and educators. Today, I just want to take some time to go over those couple of questions with you. And then, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me at brandy.howard@bullitt.kyschools.us. A couple of updates. One is that the proposed calendar was approved on Wednesday's board meeting. So our first day of school, either virtual or in person, will be August the 26th. The second thing is that our theme for Old Mill this year is learning is magical. So we look forward to having a magical year with you this year. Right, so the first thing that I really want to go over with you today is just some general health and safety precautions that we're taking this year. So the first one is that students will be asked to sanitize their hands as they are coming in from car rider line, as well as bus riders. They'll also be sanitizing before and after they eat as they transition in and out of recess or anywhere in the building. And so we've got some of these Peddler hand sanitizer stations that you see on the slide show here, so that students will just be able to step on that and get the hand sanitizer and won't have to touch the top of it. We have also closed our water fountains, and so that's why we've asked each grade level on the supply list to purchase a water bottle this year. And then lastly, we just have listed some symptoms that if students are having these symptoms, that we are going to ask that students remain at home, just for the general health and safety of our school population. The next thing that I want to go over is mask. I feel like this has been a question we've been asked a lot. And so I took a lot of the information that I have here from Dr. Bacon's communication that he's been sending out on Mondays to families. He did a very thorough job on that. So please revisit that. But I also added some things specific to Old Mill in here as well. And so masks will be worn by all students and staff. As students are entering the building, we do ask that they have their mask on when they're coming off of the bus or coming out of the car rider line. Students will also keep their mask on throughout the day if they're not able to social distance. So with the number of students that we have attending Old Mill right now, students will not be able probably to take those off in the classrooms. I've got a couple of pictures I'm going to share with you in just a minute of what our classrooms are going to look like. So students are not quite 6 feet apart in the classroom. So students will most likely have to wear their mask while they're in class. But we are being very strategic of trying to plan with our instructional opportunities. How are we going to provide students that opportunity to be able to take off their masks? So obviously they'll be able to take them off at lunch, also during wellness time, but we are also looking at some outdoor instruction, as well as an extra classroom in the building where there will not be any furniture at all. So students will be able to go in there, for a couple of minutes with their class. We're looking at making a schedule with 15-minute rotations where students can kind of go in there and take off their mask and be social distanced and just have a little brain break. Also, students, as you're picking out your face covering, really show us your personality. I know I'm a big UK fan, so I've got several UK masks. My son loves superheroes, so he's got some superhero masks. So really make it you and make it personal to you and make it fun. It's something that's going to keep us all safe and healthy. So we really want to have a positive perspective when we're talking about those masks. And then we are asking that families maybe have an extra in the kids' backpack, just in case. I know a lot of our teachers have gotten the lanyards to put those on. We've had those this week at kindergarten camp. And so if those accidentally fall down, a food or something might get on it. So we're just asking if you could bring an extra with a Ziploc baggie in the kids' backpack. We would really appreciate that. But we will have disposable ones in the building if needed as well. The next thing that I want to go over is our classroom setup. That's been something I know lots of families have inquired about. It's going to look a little different than it has in previous years. Here at Old Mill, we are all about collaboration and students working together. And so we've really been working at tables and having 4 or 5 kids at a desk set up or at a table together. So this year will look a little bit different, but it's not going to change the quality of instruction that you've always received. And so we have took some safety precautions, and we've taken rugs or any kind of cloth surfaces out of our classrooms. We are asking teachers to keep a seating chart so that if contact tracing is needed, we're able to give that information to the health department. Something I'm really excited about is that each kiddo will have their own Chromebook this year, and that's kindergarten through fifth grade. In the past at Old Mill, that's been first through fifth, fourth and fifth have taken it home. But this year, we're going to have one-to-one Chromebooks, kindergarten through fifth grade. Kindergarten first and second will be touchscreen, and third, fourth, and fifth will be our normal Chromebooks. And so students, we are asking that they take those home with them every day and have those charged for the next day. We are going to be really intentional in utilizing those in our classrooms so that if it were a situation where we went into an intermittent closure, that students were familiar with the platforms that we're using and are able to feel comfortable at home using them as well. So kindergarten through second will be using a platform called Seesaw, and third through fifth will be using Google Classroom. Parents, if you have any questions about those, if we were on a remote learning situation, please feel free to reach out to your child's teacher. But also, Bullitt County has put together a wonderful website for parents that really talks about the different kinds of platforms and how to utilize those. So I think that you'll find those very helpful. I know, kind of looking through them, I did for sure. Also, students will have their own supplies. And so in the past, we have done community supplies, but this year, each student will have their own supplies and they will be the only person utilizing those. And then lastly, if we do have manipulatives, and when I say manipulatives, I mean like base 10 blocks or dice. Typically, we see a lot of those in math, but also if we have a bookmark or something like that in reading. If it's something that multiple students are using, we will be sanitizing those in between each student use. I know this week, kindergarten camp, we've been testing all of this out, but our teachers have sanitized those and then have left those overnight and then changed which students using them the next day. And so we really are trying our very best to be safe and healthy here. Our next thing is just, I took a couple of pictures of some classrooms. They do look a little different this year with the rows of desks, but I just wanted to give you kind of a picture of what your students' class will look like. And so the class you're looking at right now is one of our second grade teachers' class. And so you kind of see it's in rows, but still have all of our instructional resources around as well. And then this is one of our fifth graders' class. And then I just have some information about arrival. So this year we will be unloading one bus at a time. In the past, we've had 3 or 4 buses unloading at one time and lots of staff out there to supervise. But this year we're going to really try to help with social distancing. And so we're only going to do one bus at a time. Students' hands will be sanitized as they get off the bus. Also, parents, make sure that if we do have to call you for any reason, I know Dr. Bacon has talked about what if a student has a temperature, what would that look like? And so if the student does have a temperature on the bus, those students will be brought up to the office and we will call you. So if your number is changed, please make sure that that is updated and that we know about that so we can get in touch with you. Also, car riders, we will have your temperature taken at your car. So we'll have a staff member come out. We'll have touchless thermometers, and they'll just take your child's temperature before they exit the car. And my hope is that we can do about 8 of those at one time, because I know we have lots of car riders. And so I want us to be as efficient as possible with that. So I'm hoping we'll have about 8 thermometers and are able to do that about 8 cars at a time. So just have patience with us in the morning, especially that first day and first couple of weeks as we get used to it. Also, an office staff member will visit each classroom to pick up any kind of transportation changes or documents like that. So I know in the past we have done those in our agendas, but this year we may have slips of paper just to help us with trying to get those up to the office. So that'll be something that I'll be working with Miss Renee and Miss Becky on, and we'll make sure that we communicate that. Also, after 9 o'clock, if a student comes in, we are going to do kind of like a curbside, like you've done maybe if you went to the dentist office or the doctor's office, where you'll just call the office and someone from the office will come out and meet you and take your student's temperature and have you log in on our contact log, and then walk your kiddo into the building. And so that's kind of what arrival is going to look like. You will see we've got spacing here every 6 feet for students so that we can just help them, give them a visual for that social distancing throughout the building. And so we'll have those in our hallways, and then teachers will also have some different things in their classrooms, maybe for lining up. So that's just a couple of frequently asked questions that I wanted to touch base on. Please email me. My hope is that as we get closer to school, that I'm able to do more of these, maybe 1 or 2 a week. So if there's things that you want to know about, just shoot me an email and say, hey, Dr. Howard, I'd love for you to do a video on this, and I'll try my very best to get that done. But if you have any questions in the meantime, please let me know. Even if you are coming back in person, please fill that form out that's been shared on our Bullitt County and Old Mill pages, because that's really going to help us when determining cafeteria and dismissal. Those are 2 plans that I'm currently working on, and so having that information would be very, very helpful. So if you have not taken that form, even if you're choosing in person, there are questions on there about if you'll be a bus rider or car rider, and information that's going to help us in developing plans. If you have any questions at all, please let us know. I look forward to having a magical year with you guys. See you soon.